So the FBI just purchased 5,000 license for this program called Babel X. Babel X is like, I don't know if you guys remember, I talked about last October, this program called Fog Data Reveal Service. It's basically the same thing. All your social media, your social security numbers, your personal records is in this database. You guys look it up. It's from Babel Street. It's called Babel X. And the FBI just bought 5,000 licenses to use this platform to gather information on random citizens whenever they want. And they can do it without a warrant. And imagine if Babel X, all the data in there was connected to this blockchain address, which is 100% identified to you because it's your literal DNA footprint. And so that's what I was thinking. In the future, all this gathering of DNA may be just a way to permanently identify you because they can sequence that into a blockchain. And then once we all are on this federal blockchain, our addresses are literally going to be our DNA sequence.
Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. And we always talk about how this NWO is likened, all right, to a technological Tower of Babel, all right. And what is the Tower of Babel? Well, when you go to the book of Genesis, the 10th chapter and the 11 chapters, all right, the first major empire, all right, to be established after the flood, all right, was through, all right, the seed of Ham, all right, which Cush, I believe, was the one of the sons of Ham, and Cush's son, all right, Nimrod, was ultimately the leader of what was known as the Tower of Babel. Now, as you can see here, Genesis 10 and 8, and Cush begot Nimrod, and he became a mighty one in the earth. And he was a mighty hunter before Yahweh, all right? Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord, all right? And he became great, and he became mighty, and he led, all right, what is known as the first attempt at a New World Order, all right? Meaning bringing all nations under one banner, all right? And when you go and read, all right, he established these kingdoms, and you go into it basically through, you know, war, you know, rape, robbery, murder, all right? Pretty much, all right, the Edomites are doing what Nimrod did in his time. And of course, there were people with him, but when you look up in Nimrod's name, okay, all right, Nimrod means, all right, rebellion. All right, rebellion, Nimrod. All right, and that's what we are witnessing with these elites. It's a rebellion. All right, now when you go to what Nimrod did in Genesis, the 11th chapter, and you could look up the names of the, you know, the places he established in Genesis, the 10th chapter, and it gives you a story roundabout of what he did. When you look at the names of the, you know, he first established Babel, all right? And his kingdom, in the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, which when you look up Babel, all right, Babal, all right, Babel, all right, which means confusion, you see? And now we're witnessing a system called Babel X, all right, that comes from Babel Street, you see? And what is Babel Street? Just to look it up, all right, it is basically the world's leading AI-enabled data to knowledge platform, all right, you can look it up, but it's ironic that the name of the world's leading AI, all right, data, and this is where, you know, they get the majority of this AI technology, all right, which is going to, you know, rule the world to come. It comes from what is known as Babel Street. Ironically, right? Isn't it ironic? All right, that Nimrod, in the first attempt at a NWO or New World Order or one world government, okay, established what is known as Babel. And now you have this thing called Babel X, which we just showed you, all right, what they plan to do with this technology, okay? Let's listen to it again.
The FBI just purchased 5,000 license for this program called Babel X. Babel X is like, I don't know if you guys remember, I talked about last October, this program called Fog Data Reveal Service. It's basically the same thing. All your social media, your social security numbers, your personal records is in this database. You guys look it up. It's from Babel Street. It's called Babel X.
See, they got this technology from Babel Street. All right, the world's leading, AI, that's the plug, basically. I mean, although we know there's, many more, but isn't it ironic that the name of the world's leading seller of this AI and what they're trying to do is called Babel X? Okay.
The FBI just bought 5,000 licenses to use this platform to gather information on random citizens whenever they want. And they can do it without a warrant. And imagine if Babel X, all the data in there was connected to this blockchain address, which is 100% identified to you because it's your literal DNA footprint. And so that's what I was thinking. In the future, all this gathering of DNA may be just a way to permanently identify you because they can sequence that into a blockchain. And then once we all are on this federal blockchain, our addresses are literally going to be our DNA sequence.
Right. And we know blockchain is dealing with the recording of any, all right, purchasing transaction. It will be forever, all right, recorded. All right. And this way they can be the most high. They can know every move you make. All right. Okay. What is blockchain? A system in which a record of transactions, especially those made in cryptocurrency, all right, is maintained across computers and linked in a peer-to-peer network. We can actually have a look at the blockchain and see evidence of what's going on. So they can see everything through blockchain, all right, in simple words, all right. And is it an advanced database mechanism that allows transparent information sharing with the business network, all right. And that's, you could look more into it, but it's a digital database, all right, in which all of your transactions will be purchased, okay. Now, we know what system they're setting up. So when you go to what Nimrod tried to do in Genesis, the 11th chapter, all right, Babel, all right, he tried to create a Tower of Babel, all right. And we know that the EU Parliament building is patterned after what they say is the Tower of Babel. Okay, you could just look more into it, but if you look at the images, you can clearly see. Now, we know the Tower of Babel was a ziggurat, all right, where they go on top and, call on their gods. But, this is the image that they, paint as to what it would look like. But when you look at the EU Parliament building, all right, this is clearly, Babylon all over again. Because, again, you have Babel that started with Nimrod. Then you have the Neo-Babylonian Empire, all right, ran by the Assyrians, Nebuchadnezzar. And then you have Babylon the Great, all right, which is America, who leads this beast system. Okay, now when you go to what they did, all right, just to get to the point, they built this Genesis 11:4, and they said, go to let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach into the heaven. All right. And ultimately, as this clown, Noah Yuval Harari, who's linked to the WEF, what did he say? The gods of the new world to come. We won't need a God in the sky. The God, all right, that will control the earth will be the clouds where all of this information and data will be stored. Okay, so this is a technological attempt at a Tower of Babel like, situation. It says, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach into the heaven. Let us let us make us a name. And that's what they're trying to do. All right. They're trying to make them a name. When you look up this word name, we know it's Shem or Shum. All right. Let us make us a name, Shum, a reputation, a monument, a memorial. And that's what this NWO is all about. They're trying to appoint themselves. All right. They're trying to fix themselves and create a new world. Right now, Genesis 11, and they said, go, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach unto the heaven. All right. And they said, let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth. And that's what's going to happen. All right. In this time, because the Lord clearly sees what they're doing. All right. But again, they're going to attempt it. This is Isaiah 24. All right. And 1. Look, I'll read it in NLT. The Lord is about to destroy the earth and make a vast wasteland. He devastates the surface of the earth. He scatters the people. He's going to scatter this whole attempt at an NWO. And the Lord came down via the chariots, Genesis 11 and 5, to see the city and the tower which the children of men build it. All right. And this is why they're building this digital hub. All right. Because they're going to gather all people under this one digital world, this one digital hub. Everybody's going to have to enter into this new world via digital ID and everything else that they're planning. This is another attempt at a Tower of Babel. Okay. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one and all have one language. And this will they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined. Okay. And this is the world we're looking at now. As you see how proud it's getting. All right. They have artificial wombs. They have these new goggles. All right. To where you can, pretty much see anything. It's crazy. Them Google goggles, they like $3,500. Probably do a lesson on that. Knowledge is increasing. All right. They're creating babies. You can get a baby and create it, with the how tall you want it to be, the color of the eyes you want it to be. They want God-like capability. They want control over the spirit. All right. And the scriptures say there is no man, I believe it's in the book of Ecclesiastes. All right. The brother Benaiah brought this out at one of the lessons I was looking at. All right. Control over the spirit. And this is what they want. And this is what they're boasting themselves in. It's in the book of Ecclesiastes. The book of Ecclesiastes 8 and 8. All right. There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither, all right, hath he power over the day of death. And that's what they want. They want control of when someone comes to the earth. All right. When someone, all right, dies. All right. They want God-like capability. Okay. And there is no discharge in the war, neither shall the wicked deliver those that are given into it. All right. So these devils want power over the spirit. You see, they want power over everything. They want to be the most high. All right. And it's interesting. It says here in Genesis 11 and 4 that they wanted to make a tower whose top reach unto heaven. When you get the book of Obadiah, okay, Obadiah 1 and 4, all right, Obadiah verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, he uses, the symbolism of the eagle in all of his, kingdoms of this beast system. They've all bore the eagle, which the eagle is the highest flying bird. You see, and what they are deeming themselves is the greatest nation of people on the planet Earth, the Edomites, in particular, the Amalekites. All right, but as they talk, they call themselves the 1% who rule over the rest. You see? And though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down. All right. And there's another one. Let's see if we can get a cross reference. Yep. Job 20 and 6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, though his head reach the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. You're not going to make it. Okay. This is the book of, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, which people still bug out and think Lucifer is talking about the spiritual demon Satan being kicked out of heaven. No, it's speaking of the king of Babylon. All right. When you look up this, when we always go into it, and I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to go into the full breakdown. We have lessons on it. If you need it, ask on the comment board. All right, but Hayalal is this word, light bearer. And it's interesting that the ones who run this setup go after the name of the illuminated ones, or the Illuminati, which means the light bearer. All right. And really, this is symbolic of the king of Babylon and Satan, which when you go into the scriptures, there is one who will go and come and do the bidding of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, describing the king of Babylon. And the king of this modern day Babylon that we're going to be delivered out of the final captivity, is the Edomites. Okay. And he, all right, is attempting to build a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, to gather all people and all nations under it. All right. And they're in a rush to do it, lest they be scattered and stopped. Okay. It says, and the Lord came down to see the city which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they all have one language, and this they will begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them. And the do as thou wilt mindset, you know, basically this is a rebellion against the Most High, to where we will no longer be, all right, as it says in the book of Psalms, the 2nd chapter. All right, I should have probably did this lesson later, because it may take more time to bring some of these points out. But Psalms 2 and 3 in the NLT. Psalms 2 and 2, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, then I'll jump to the NLT, let us break their chains, they cry, and free ourselves from slavery to the Most High. And this is what they're boasting in when you really listen to what they're saying. Okay, that's the doctrine of the serpent. All right, we don't need, all right, to be, you know, he told Eve basically, you don't need to be in subject, all right, to righteousness or to this God or to this order. No, you can do as thou wilt. And this is what they're trying to push and implement into the earth these days. And the Lord don't want all people to be one. See, this was a big problem. The Lord separated the nations. If he wanted all nations to be one, Nimrod would have done no wrong. See, but this is a rebellion against the Most High. All right, so what did the Lord do? He sent the angels down to confound the languages, and he broke up that plan. All right, and it was the family line of Shem, all right, who continued the legacy of righteousness, all right, pretty much at the time of Peleg. All right, you have Eber, which that's where you get the term Hebrew. It was the righteous line of Noah through Shem, through Arphaxad, who stuck to the traditions. All right, and then eventually, as you go down in a generation, this is where Abraham came from, although his father had fell away from those ways of righteousness. But it was the obedience of the family line of Shem during this building of the Tower of Babel, all right, that allowed the Hebrew language to continue, because the languages were confounded, but the Hebrew language stuck. How do we know? Because the name Yahweh continued to be called upon through the generations, all right, of the family line of Shem through Arphaxad. Abram, all right, was returned to that name. We have been returned to that name, Yahweh, all right, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. All right, now let's get the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, in the 4th verse. All right, the warning of what this man will be doing in the latter days. Habakkuk 2 and 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. All right, because this man is going to be doing a lot of wickedness to get this plan. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. See, neither keepeth at home. He's all over the world, all right, doing wickedness, whom enlarges his desire as hell, all right, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto himself all nations, and heapeth unto himself all people. He wants to gather all nations under this digital grid, all right, to where you will be subject to him as God, all right, through digital. And then the charagma, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that charagma. This is what they're setting up right before your face, all right. And also, and it says in verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth and that which is not his, how long? And to them that ladeth himself with thick clay, that debt. So many people are realizing that the elite, all right, are planning this NWO. Their plans are out there. All right, there's a parable against it right now. They're being mocked. The elites are being mocked, even by their own Edomite kind. You see? And many people have awakened to the true plan of what they're trying to do. You see? But the Heavenly Father has given clues to let us know what time it is, because when you go into prophecy, when you type in Nimrod, all right, Nimrod, you go to Micah, the 5th chapter, all right, which is a prophecy of Yahushai's return when you go into it. All right, how he's going to deliver us out of all of this and what will be happening. Micah 5 and 6, and they shall waste the land of Assyria, which in prophecy, Babylon the Great is known also as Egypt and Assyria. And we have lessons going into all of this with the sword. So there's going to come a point where America is going to be attacked. Okay, either Iran, China, whatever, is going to be an attack on the grounds of Babylon. And they're warning you right now that the people who are over here who may not have our best interests, all right, they're going to attack our infrastructure. They're going to attack the water. They're going to do a cyber attack. All of this is being warned of, because this is what's getting ready to happen. Because they're going to need that as a means to establish you having a global ID, a digital ID. All right, things are going to be so bad that they're going to say you have to come up under this system. We have to know what you're buying, what you're selling, what you're purchasing. All right, then you have the climate thing. Tie that to it. The climate is so bad, it's not enough resources, so we have to ration out the resources. So we need to know how much you're buying, how much you're selling, what you can have. So you're going to have to come up under this system. So they shall waste, all right, the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod in the interests thereof, and he shall deliver us from the Assyrian. See, the Lord is going to deliver us from the Assyrian, all right, which the modern day Assyrian, who was known for their great military, are the Edomites. When he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth in our borders, because he's going to come after us, pursuing to Revelation, the 12th chapter, Revelation 12 and 17 says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahushai. And that's what we're doing, the remnant. All right, through faith, we're keeping the commandments, and we have the testimony of Yahushai. All right, yeah, keeping the commandments is going to keep us from bowing the knee to the image of Baal, from taking those jabs, from taking that charagma. And we're going to be a threat. The last standing voice that opposes this NWO is going to be the truth, the true enemy of the NWO. Everybody else is just talking, but they will be used to fulfill prophecy, civil unrest. See, but this is called the land of Nimrod. See, the land of Nimrod. We're going to be rescued from the land of Nimrod. You see that connection right there? All right. And I believe there's another scripture in Isaiah, the 10th chapter, that links our deliverance to the Assyrians. He shall save us from the Assyrian. Let's see here. Boom. Isaiah 10 and 21. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant shall be returned. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness. For the Lord thy God, the Lord of hosts, shall make the consumption even determined in the midst of the land. So he's going to deliver us. He's going to destroy Babylon the Great and deliver us. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, God of hosts, O my people that dwellest in the land of Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrian. He shall smite thee with the rod, and shall lift up his staff against thee after the manner of Egypt. So he's going to have us in a hardcore captivity. All right. Yet for yet a very little while, and then in the indignation shall cease in my anger and in their destruction. So the Lord is going to deliver us from this man. Though he put us in captivity, he was used to take us down. The Lord is going to deliver us from him. All right. But it's likened unto the land of Nimrod. All right. And when you look up Assyria, all right, that was one of the when you go to Genesis, the 10th chapter, that region was one of the areas that Nimrod established as well. Okay. I believe Nineveh is the right here. Boom. Genesis 10 and 10. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, Calneh, and the land of Shinar, and out of that land went forth Ashur. All right. For he expanded his territory to Assyria. See that? So these lands were, you know, set up by this devil Nimrod. All right. He was a Hamite. All right. A Cushite. But, all right, now the modern day form of that is being done through Esau, Edom. Okay. And this is what they're doing. All right. Creepy Joe hires, all right, the gates of hell. Salakia. Yep. Creepy Joe hires the gates of hell to flood the internet with AI censorship bots. So they what? So they can see everything. So they can control everything. Okay. This is another article I had. So I got to roll out. But maybe I'll do another lesson going deeper into it. But that's the point, you know. Homeland Security to use AI tool to analyze social media of U.S. citizens and refugees. And then you see Customs and Border Protection is using a tool called Babel X that can link a person's SSN to their social media. So pretty soon you're going to have all of your information on this grid. You know what I'm saying? And we know what's next. All right. We know what's next, pursuant to what's that? Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right. In the 16th verse, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay. And you Israelite groups that are mocking and playing, all right, leading our people to the slaughter, telling them the Lord wants us to forward in this world and this and that. Whew. Boy, oh boy. Destruction is coming your way, man. Shalom.